ICV is not an economic policy, or is not just an economic policy. It is a resilience strategy. This is Moyed Ladawi, Sustainability Engineer at OQ Gas Network, and I'll be the moderator for this session, inshallah. Before jumping into introducing our panelists, I'll just give you a little bit of information about OQ's ICV performance. So, a minute. Okay. So, retained value growth. Million Omani Riyal. And we go beyond the spending. In end of 2024, we introduced the responsible procurement policy, and it scattered to all OQ's entities. And now I'm gonna introduce our honored panelists. I'm gonna start from left to right. So we have an ICV senior specialist with almost 8 years of experience at OQ refineries and petrochemical industries, with an electrical engineering background. The ICV here is not just a job. She is passionate about it. Welcome, Shuruq Shidi. And I'm joined also by an and he enjoys the hiking and exploring the nature. Welcome, Talal Siabi. Finally, we have a senior contract engineer who is having a diverse experience, procurement, contracting, and in-country value. And he is enjoying stepping out of his comfort zone and trying new challenges. Welcome, Qasim Shahri. So, before we go beyond the ICV, let's first of all build the foundation, and then we'll go beyond our in-country value. Shuruq, I'll start with you. Can you walk us through what ICV and local content really mean in the energy sector, and why it matters beyond just a compliance number or figure?
Thank you, Muayyad, for this introduction and for having us today here. Actually, it's my pleasure to be one of the panelists with my colleagues Talal and Qasim. Before we go beyond ICV, I think it's very important to align together on what ICV really means and why it also matters. The in-country value in the energy sector is basically a way to measure how much of the value spent out of total contract, procurement, projects that will stay within the country and contribute to the ICV elements. In simple words, imagine that you have a project with 1 million US dollar. So how much of that value you spend locally? Let's say on Omani's salaries, local sourcing of goods, local sourcing of services, maybe some investments that you will use during the execution of that project. For the ICV, we have basically 4 main elements, or we call them key pillars. The investments in capital assets, we have local sourcing of goods, local sourcing of services, Omani's workforce. In addition to this, we have also some additional elements like the training for development, supplier development. We have also the institution, education, and research and development. The overall objective of the ICV is to strengthen the local economy by creating more sustainable, more independent industry with less reliance on the external market. As well, one of the objectives of the ICV is to support the local suppliers and also SMEs. In addition to this, one of the focus of the ICV is to develop the Omani's talent. And at OQRBI, we are aligned and actively implemented the Oman Investment Authority guideline and policy to ensure that ICP embedded within our procurement and strategies and contracts. Also, we have a focus on creating measurable and sustainable value within the company itself and the country as overall. From practical perspective, I think we should not treat ICV as a compliance exercise only. The real ICV value is seen when we create long-term impact. Let me explain it for you by an examples. If you have a contract with an humanization percentage, let's say 30% of humanization, the focus should not be only on achieving the target, which is the 30% of humanization. The real value here is created when we invest on those Omanis, when we build their skills and develop their capabilities. The same also applies for SMEs. If you have an SME and you start by giving that SME a part of the scope, يعني really good start for those SMEs. But the real value will be created here when we will support those SMEs, when we develop their capabilities to be at the end able to deliver larger and more complex scope independently and also without the need for a supervision from someone else or from another contractor. So the real question is now not whether we are achieving ICV targets. It's whether we are truly building capabilities, creating long-term impacts that will exist even if these contracts, projects, or procurement will be exist and completed or not.
That's very great, Shuruq. I think you built the foundation and the base of the conversation as well. Now we have the foundation. Let's zoom out to a strategic level. Talal, from a procurement standpoint, how has OQ or OQ exploration and production embedded in country value? Thinking into the supply chain itself, not just measuring it, but making it a core part of how you source, evaluate, and partner as well.
At OQ, at OQ in general, let's say, I believe that we had a remarkable experience when it comes to embedding ICV as part of the, let's say, the DNA of the supply chain itself. So we went beyond having ICV as a compliance criteria only to be like to embed as one of the strategic pillar within the company itself and mainly within the supply chain. So if we take, for example, the sourcing of material, so the strategy itself, it's not only keeping ICV as a checkbox, part of that strategy, it's mainly the ICV is an important element of that strategy. So we are building most of our strategies based on the ICV elements requirements. So for example, it's not just only a matter of achieving this specific percentage of organization or maybe SMEs. However, we are trying as much as we can to be more selective. So for example, for the SMEs, we are ring fencing the scopes which adding value to SMEs. For the humanization, we are trying to be more selected in setting the minimum percentage for humanization in specific job categories. So we try to keep ICV as part of the overall process of supply chain. Other than supply chain, ICV at OQ, ICV become one of the main element in the scorecard, which means that more focus will be given to ICV, not only through procurement and contracts, however, it will be through overall the company itself. So ICV is one of the main KPIs in the scorecard, which giving more weight to ICV within the company, and accordingly, the whole company will target to maximize spend on ICV. The same also with overall with all elements in ICV, other than SMEs and humanization, all other elements. In some cases, most of the contracts and most of the scopes designed in a way which fulfill the ICV requirements. Okay, and try to maximize ICV through that area. What is important also in terms of ensuring maximizing ICV at OQ, to have a very low threshold in terms of reviewing all the tenders. OQ comparing with, let's say, with other operators, we do have very low threshold. Okay, comparing to review the ICV. The main goal of that is to maximize ICV even for the low value. Why we are doing that? Because all this low value spend are mostly going to the SMEs. So focusing on this low value will give more opportunity and chances to SMEs, get more chances there. So this is an overall. ICV become one of the main elements, main criteria in ICV in the tendering process at OQ.
Thank you very much, Qasim. Thank you very much, Talal. So we have the what and the strategic how as well. We know from the conversation that the ICV is a key pillar, even it is part of the scorecard of OQ scorecard. So now let's bring it down a little bit to the project execution. Qasim, how does localization get written into contract structure from day one, rather than being treated as to tick at the end?
Thank you, Muayed, for your question. Just to let you know, all localization, it should not for the contract. It should be from the stage of the contract, not from the end. During the tender strategy, we are trying internally with internal stakeholder to align together with ICV team and contract team to align in ICV minimum requirements or to identify any scope for the SME and the RIADA card holders. One of the most important things we have to align with the end user before set any minimum requirements for any scope. The most important thing for as in OQPI, we are targeting the RIADA card holders by using the ring fence and vendor development programs to support them. From 2023 to 2025, we are, as OQPI, we are strong. The total spend for all from 2023 to 2025, we reached 202 million USD. For the local spend, we have 177 million. For RIADA card holders, we achieved 28 million. And for SME as well, we have 41 million. So we have to make sure from the beginning to set the clear minimum requirements to support the local community in that. Thank you.
That's great, Qasim. I think each one of you has touched on a different layer: policy, procurement, execution. Where does all of this connect to Oman Vision 2040 pillars like localization, for example? It's an open question.
Well, I think let me give one example of one of the pillar which is there in Oman Vision, which we are focusing more on the SMEs. So if we take SMEs, this is one of the pillars that is there in Oman Vision, and at OQ, okay, we are giving more focus on SMEs. When we are comparing ourselves with the market average, so OQ we are at more than 20%, 21%, while the market average is around 14 to 15%. That came from a lot of initiatives, okay, related to SMEs, mainly ring fencing most of the scopes, okay, which are suitable for SMEs to SMEs. We do have a given scopes, okay, by default they are giving to SMEs, and for any, whether the direct scopes or even through our contractor, all these scopes will go directly to SMEs. So by doing that, we have achieved this high percentage of SME spend. mainly in the spend related to the project, to the EPC, during the construction. A lot of materials are sourced from SMEs. Other than SMEs, we do have the Made in Oman as well. We do have a higher percentage of spend going to Made in Oman, whether through the ring fencing, specific list of items to Omani local manufacturer, or through specifying percentages, or like a ring fencing list of Made in Oman. So a lot of initiatives, definitely it's directly linked to toward achieving the goals in Oman Vision 2040.
That's very great, Talal. Anyone want to add?
Yeah, I think just I will add one thing. By using ICV policy, we have now a new ICV policy, and we are targeting only most of the thing, Riyada, cardholders, and SME. By using the ring fence, we are trying to ring fence most of the scope related to the maintenance and to the landscaping or any surface. So not specialized to the plant, to the Riyada and SME. We are using our ICV policy for that one. And around 88.5% of all contracts with the National Register, out of 165 contracts with us, we have 146 contracts with National Register suppliers. And we are trying more now to shift some of the contracts to Riyada, from NRS to Riyada and SME. Thank you.
Well, I think since we are talking here about Oman Vision 2040, I think it's good to look into the key priorities of this vision. Oman Vision 2040 focus on the sustainability and the diversity of the Omani economy. As well, it's focus on the private sector growth and SMEs growth, as well, enhancing Omani's capabilities. And at the heart of all of this, we have the localization. So the connection between the ICV and Oman Vision 2040 is very direct connection. Even today, if we look around us, and I think all of us have seen the geopolitical situation which affect the supply chain and cause instability on the market. This is put more press on the ICV as overall and on the localization as specific. And from my view, I think the localization, we should focus on those critical items that we rely on during our operating of our facilities and plants. The high demand items, high values items, to secure our businesses and also to support the Oman Vision 2040.
Thank you very much, Shuruq, Talal, and Qasim. What we have here today makes one thing very clear. In-country value and local content is not longer just a framework. In OQ hands, it has become a vehicle for building a resilient, locally rooted, and future-ready energy sector, fully aligned with Oman Vision 2040. And before we wrap up, I think some of the audience have questions to our honored panelists.
First, for the great info that you shared today, my question is, what are the challenges that ICV face today? Yeah? If there is any challenge that
Well, I think the challenges keep changing. Okay, so the ICV initiated a few years ago. The challenges mainly about, let's say, the accepting, for example, the concept of ICV, okay, the local products, and Omani is also to compete with the expat, for example, all of these concepts. Nowadays, the challenges start changing. Okay, the challenges now, it's more related to the competition in the market. Okay, so because although we do have Omani products in the market, they need to be compete in a way that sustain. Okay, so it's not just only a matter of having a lot of opening new factories and a lot of manufacturing products. However, all of these products need to have the vision how to sustain in the market. Okay, a lot of competition in the market there. The ICV support, it won't last. Okay, all the Omani investors, okay, they need to have that sense of having products which compete in the market and also looking forward for overseas markets. It's not just only a matter of the local market as well. So all of these can be challenges that any investor, Omani investor, invest locally, they need to look at.
Also, I would like to add to Talal feedback that also one of the challenges that we are facing at ICV is the readiness of our local suppliers. Sometimes we would like to ring fence a specific scope to a local company or to someone to participate within the country, but when we and we evaluate this company, we found it's not up to that level or don't have that much experience to handle that work. So this is one of the examples. I can also add to this the availability of the skilled people. Sometimes we have scopes that need experienced people to handle. And when we try to hire those people, we found that they are maybe not up to that level, which we can say need more enhancement into their capabilities and skills.
Any other question?
Thank you all, Shroq, Talal, and Qasim. Question maybe to Talal, which is, as you just mentioned, related to the localization. Localization is that from now up to where we want to reach or achieve, especially related to the strategic materials into each business differently. So since this is a journey, what we can do in the energy sector before, what we can do and implement now until we reach to the fully localized strategic materials.
Well, I think maybe we need to just go beyond the ICV compliance. Okay, what was happening in the last few years is a lot of focus on the compliance, the ICV compliance, the minimum requirements, and following the regulations and the rules and so on. So we need to go beyond that, and we need to look at something which is value creation. Okay, which add value to the market. Okay, we need to look exactly what the market need. Okay, and then the ICV initiatives, they need to fulfill that requirements. So it's not just only a matter of keeping the regulations and requirements to the market. However, whatever adding value to the market, we need to give it more focus. So as I said, we need to have more more selective in terms of the ICV initiatives, in terms of whatever we are supporting, whatever we are giving, the facilities within the oil and gas sector, for example. We need to give attention to that areas which add more value in the long term. We need, okay, whatever initiatives will be there, it should sustain in the market, whether locally or internationally, to guarantee the added value in future.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting discussion. It's more of a comment, and you can add to that on same topic you were talking about, and Shawq also highlighted about. I think what ICV or local content needs more is not only the contracts that we give, but also from big companies like OQ, is to support the SMEs or local companies on how to alleviate their standards to meet the specific requirements and standards of the oil and gas industry at the same time. They need that support more than the contracts only. I know they're striving for contracts, but they need support to be in a competitive status with other companies. Then we don't want them. We don't want SMEs only to play with the Riyada card. They say, "I have a Riyada card. You can give me that." We need them to be on the same level, and that which will alleviate really the capabilities within the country.
Yeah, can I add in his comment? In OKBI, we have like a vendor development program internally. We are trying to target one of the RIADA cardholders. We need to shift them to the next level to be SME, then to be NRS. We are trying to have alignment with some company like Honeywell and Siemens to train them and support them to shift their RIADA card holder to SME, not to stay in the same level. I think.
Any question? Thank you very much all for attending this session. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you very much all. عليك واجبنا.